Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and welcome into Murder Your Bookie, episode number 13 at this point. We are in, or actually 14, we are in week number 12, but this video is going to be just us talking about Thursday's football, the Thanksgiving games. I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving. Today, now we have a new sponsor, a new bringer of these videos. Thank you so much to MyBookie. I'm going to give you guys a quick read real quick, and then we're going to get into the picks. So Thanksgiving is all about traditions like the turducken with mashed potatoes and betting on football with MyBookie's Turkey Day free play. MyBookie's third annual Turkey Day free play returns this Thanksgiving Thursday. It's your chance to bet up to $250 risk-free on the early Thanksgiving game. The Turkey Day free play is no risk, all gravy wager on the full game spread. Pick the right team and you win. If your team is upset, you bet up to $250 is refunded for the next game. So if you bet the 250, you get it right back for the second game of the day, which is Washington against the Dallas Cowboys. New players will get their first bet matched halfway up to $1,000 to help add even more excitement to the greatest football weekend of the year. That's right. Make your first deposit and get extra cash you can use on parlays, teasers, and props all weekend long. Use my promo code Notoriously. It'll be down below in the description, Notoriously, in order to claim your bonus and your free bet. And the best part is this is only the beginning. MyBookie is promotion all holiday weekend long. Turkey Day free plays Thanksgiving Thursday that rolls into Black Friday boosted odds and finishes strong with the buy one, get one free Cyber Monday Night Football. That's why at MyBookie they call football season winning season. Check it out. No risk, all gravy. Don't forget to use promo code Notoriously to claim your freebies. Again, link down below in the description. Thank you, MyBookie, obviously, for sponsoring. Lucas, do you have anything to say before we get into some nice Thanksgiving fun?
Nah, man. The people are finally joining on with the Murder Your Bookie trend. It's good. It's good to see. We're still rolling. Going to continue to roll.
For sure. Thank you to MyBookie again. All the links for that is down below in the description. Code Notoriously. So the odds, the lines are based off of MyBookie now. So thank you very much to them. So I will begin. We're not really going off of confidence. I think we're just going to talk about every game. Maybe you can say how confident you are in it. First game of the day, Texans at Lions. And my pick for this game is I'm going with the over 51.5. I think that this game is going to be high scoring, but this really depends on what Lions offense we end up getting. The Lions offense last week looked dead. They looked like they could not do a single thing up against the Carolina Panthers. That, in my opinion, was an easy matchup, and they were just not able to move the ball at all. And they got absolutely pounded in that game. I think that the Texans are a good offense. They'll be able to score a decent amount of points. We saw them be able to do that up against the Patriots when they beat them. So I think the Detroit Lions, all they have to do is keep up in this one to get it over 51.5. The Detroit Lions are one of those teams you see every single Thanksgiving, and typically they play pretty good. Last year up against the Vikings, they look good. Even without Matthew Stafford, they had to use David Blau, but this year it should be Matthew Stafford. So I like the Texans and the Lions to go over 51.5. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, well, first off, for the setup or whatever, I apologize. My computer's being dumb, so I might look a little grainy. But I think the Lions are, I mean, this isn't a term, but they're a Thanksgiving team, right? Like, they're always playing on Thanksgiving. They seem to overcome, like, I don't remember the last time they haven't had, like, an obstacle of no quarterback playing. Chase Daniel always seems to get in no matter what team he's on. Like, it's always, like, just kind of a crapshoot for them, and they always seem to kind of put together a game worth watching. Granted, I'm going to watch every game, but like it's still like you want a good game to watch. So, yeah, I think the over's part of the right side here. I think the Lions offense last week was
bad.
Obviously bad, but like I don't know. I think the Panthers, the way they're kind of maneuvering their team is something we haven't seen in a while, where like their defense is so bad that somehow they're making it play good by running weird zones, kind of maneuvering the front seven that maybe the Lions just haven't seen in a while. And there was the whole maybe they game plan for Teddy B the whole week, and then PJ Walker ended up starting when Teddy was active. So like I think there was just a lot going on in that game, and I think it was more of a throwaway game, if anything. Could have been a look ahead line to this game. Like the Lions are still 4-6. That's one thing I think we don't need to throw out. Like people just say they're bad, that Stafford isn't doing good in fantasy. Galladay barely's been playing. He was a limited participant in practice, so there's a lot of things trending up for this team. So, yeah, I think the over – I wouldn't lay the under because I tend to know these Lions games on Thanksgiving turn to shootouts and big plays.
Yeah.
That goes into my pick. So this is the pick with the – like you mentioned at the beginning, the 200 up to 250 risk-free bet. So you have to pick on the spread. You can't pick the total or the money line. I'm picking the Lions +3. It's currently at that at MyBookie. It opened +2.5. So I would say if you're going to do it, I would go – the the pause I have is if it gets under 3, I don't know what side to take. So I've already taken it at 3. I would take it at 3.5, obviously. So just make sure you get it at a good number. I think Texans did come off a win last week. I think the Patriots are just kind of washed, but I think both sides pretty much even up. The Lions have better corners. Obviously, the Texans have a better quarterback, but you have to overcome so much of that Texans team. I think it kind of evens out. And Swift should be back this week to kind of get some ground game going. So I'm kind of banking on a lot of injuries between Swift and Galladay to kind of bounce back here. But I know that by Thursday, if the whole team is healthy, this line is not going to be +3.
Yeah.
Obviously, that makes the risk-free bet a little more, I guess, risk to it. Even there is no risk, so make sure to get the 3. Risk up to 250, and if you, what that means is if you don't get it right, you get refunded. Say that 250 back right away. They said before.
The next
whenever
game.
the Cowboys kick off at like 3:30. Yeah, so definitely get on that. No brainer. Why not? I like the Lions side on this one. Just due to kind of the Thanksgiving sort of I don't know, mindset around this team. It always seems they kind of bounce back on Thanksgiving here.
Yeah, I would agree. If I had to pick a side, I'd take the Lions as well. The Texans, I don't know about the Texans, to be honest with you. I don't know how they're favored in this game. This game to me feels more like a pick 'em. The Texans, I feel like they have such a shit defense that the Lions, if they're playing good enough, should easily be able to score a lot of points on them. So I don't know why the Lions are not favored in this one, to be honest with you. I guess maybe it's just because of last week. Stafford's thumb or one of his fingers was hurt going into the game, clearly impacted him when he fumbled the ball early on in the game. But again, another week of rest. He should be fine. So I like the Lions here as well, +3. So next game here, we'll go down a little bit. Washington at Dallas, the 4:00 game. I like the Washington football team +3, as does Lucas. He doesn't even have to say it because I'll just say it for him. I don't trust the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys somehow beat the Minnesota Vikings last week, and I have never been more confused how a team won a football game in my life. The Dallas defense legitimately showed up and looked like something that Dallas hasn't seen in years. It was actually quite unbelievable. But then when you think about it, who were the Dallas Cowboys playing up against? The game manager himself, Kirk Cousins. This is an NFC East matchup that is typically always a close game that is normally decided by a field goal. So why not take the team getting the field goal, Washington +3? I think the football team actually looks good with Alex Smith, which is one of the weirdest things that you could say, to be honest with you. After the injury that happened to Alex Smith, he's actually looking good. They're going to be able to run the ball a whole lot on the Dallas Cowboys using Mr. Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick, and I think Terry McLaurin is going to do just enough to get this done. The Washington defense isn't amazing. I understand that. So would I be surprised if the Cowboys somehow got close to winning this one? No, but I think at the end of the day, the Washington football team are the best team besides the Giants in the worst division in football. I like Washington +3. What is your assessment on picking Washington +3?
Yeah, I think that we finally saw. So go back to when Dak got hurt. I wasn't like completely off on the Cowboys. I actually made a bunch of division winner bets because the line was like -110. Like obviously now it's laughable, right? But I hedged it with the football team with the Giants, so I'm sitting in a good spot. But I think the Dallas team we saw last week was what we should have expected. We should have expected, like we said, a little bit of a decrease in efficiency, just a less expectation to big plays offense, and we finally saw that last week with Andy Dalton. Now, I'm not saying they're better than the football team, but 3 points is outrageous. Like this should be a pick 'em. Every single like PFF, Football Outsiders, Action Network, every single like place I look to get like some gain, like of knowledge around projections and edges, like they have this as a pick 'em. One of them had them Washington -1, even on the road. So I think that you just take the points here. I don't have like a strong play in this game. I think this is one where you could maybe bet live, kind of get some trading back and forth between +7s. But yeah, I think this is one where I might mess around with player props in general, kind of attack the Terry McLaurin side. And Gibson's been rolling. I think he's plus money for a touchdown. Some of the props aren't out yet.
Yeah.
That you can bet, but obviously, and then I guess going back to the Lions game, I was going to mention that Marvin Jones loves Thanksgiving football. So any touchdown bet, 2+ touchdowns, 3+ touchdowns, like those are the ones you want to go attack with him. It just seems to work always. But yeah, I think the football team's aside here. I do think the Cowboys, though, like this is a huge game, right? Because the winner, I mean, granted, Seattle beats the Eagles, which should happen. The Giants kind of lucked out that they play Cincinnati with no Joe Burrow. So the Giants might be the leader in this division or tied for it because one of the football team or Dallas has to win. So like this is kind of a sneaky big game to kind of swing the division a little bit. So I'm kind of looking at this one as a long-term betting, or I don't know, like just long-term look on the rest of the season versus this 1 week. But you gotta take the +3. And that's a great teaser leg too, because I can't see the Cowboys with that offense beating any team by more than 4 points, let alone getting +9 on Washington.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Did you see that apparently Dallas, before they played that game against the Vikings, McCarthy like smashed some
Yeah,
fucking watermelons with a sledgehammer? If we learn that he does that again, I'm switching. We're going to Dallas on that. But if not, I don't think they'll be fired up and ready to go
yeah.
without some sledgehammer through some watermelons. I don't know what is wrong with that guy. But do you have anything else to add on this game, or is it kind of just a little? I really don't feel super heavily on Washington. I just feel like I would take the points in this matchup regardless of which side it was.
Yeah, I think it's just that you take advantage of the offline of a pretty even set game. And we've done this, both of us have done this throughout the weeks. Like, obviously, like it's not, that's more of a theoretical look at it than who actually might be better. But this is what you got to do if you want to be profitable in the long run. So,
Yeah, for sure. So next game here, the final game, the Thursday night football game, the Thanksgiving matchup. This is the one game that is actually a good football game, realistically. I mean, the Lions versus the Texans will probably be fun to watch. The Washington football team versus the Dallas Cowboys will probably put you to sleep. But this game is actually supposed to be good. Ravens at the Steelers. Now, the scariest part about betting either of these sides to me is I really have no idea how the Ravens are going to look without Mark Ingram, without J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins was a huge aspect of that team last week up against the Tennessee Titans in the game that they ended up losing. The Steelers have not lost a game yet. The offense is amazing. The Ravens defense is pretty good, but my lean on this one is to just go over 45. The Steelers have just been pounding out these defenses on a weekly basis, regardless of who they're playing against. Claypool may finish the season with 7 million touchdowns at this point because he scored a touchdown every single game. He's at 10 already, which is just insane for a rookie wide receiver. This offense is amazing. Deontay Johnson has looked very good. Juju Smith-Schuster in spurts has looked good. And Big Ben has even looked good. James Conner's just wishy-washy. In my opinion, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's good. I really think he's just an average running back. And the Ravens offense has looked good in spurts and really awful in spurts. We've seen games where the Ravens are easily able to march down the field, and we've seen games where the Ravens can't do jack of all shit. But I think this game up against the Steelers, they have to wake up. This is a must-win game, in my opinion, for the Ravens if they want to go ahead and make the playoffs. They have to make some noise here and beat out their division rival. So I like the over 45 here. I think this is a high-scoring game, a high-passing game, at least for the Steelers, in my opinion. I'm not too sure how much the Ravens are going to pass it, but they will have to if they're down. So I like the Steelers at Ravens over 45. What are your thoughts?
yeah, I think that's probably like the only side I like, or like play I like in this game with confidence. I put down the Ravens +4. They were 4.5. They'll kind of teeter back and forth. And the reasoning behind this is this line was +3 before the Dobbins and Ingram news broke. So I'm playing some reverse line movement on this and saying that I don't think Dobbins and Ingram in a committee are worth 1 point if they're missing the game. It just seems kind of odd to me that a running back that they gave the full workload to 1 week is out, and Mark Ingram hasn't done anything or out, that like it shouldn't move 1 point back, right? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards will be fine. They'll work in whoever else. Lamar will run the ball more. Like I'm not worried. That doesn't scare me. Like what scares me is the Ravens not being able to throw the ball like we've seen, right? But I think that they did okay last time. I think it was a 4-point game, 28-24, I believe, or something along those lines. So yeah, I think that I'm just going to take the points here with the Ravens. They had a bad week last week, kind of in a bounce back spot. Steelers also could have been in sort of a look ahead last week against the Jags, just kind of prepping for this game. But really, this game, I was looking at some lines, like the division odds for this. The Ravens are at like plus 1,800 now. So like, if you think the Ravens can win this and potentially go on a run, now's your time to buy in on that. This game, if the Steelers win this, the division's a wrap. I mean, just call the division. Steelers are going to get the 1 seed probably, if not the 2. So I'm taking the points. I like the over. You could tease them to plus 10 and into over 39. I also kind of like maybe throwing a little bit if you feel a little confident on this Ravens team bouncing back on the division. Plus 1,800 for the reigning MVP is a little absurd.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue though is the Steelers' schedule is absolutely cupcake. They play Washington, then the Bills,
Uh-huh.
then the Bengals, Colts, Browns. So actually, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but I know for sure they're going to beat the Washington football team and the Bengals. So I
Yeah.
don't know if the Ravens
Yeah.
will be able to bounce back necessarily, but it's definitely worth a bet if it's plus 1,800, like you said. That's honestly a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's insane. I don't get it.
yeah. So do you have anything else to add? Oh yeah, you have your teaser that you can add.
Yeah, I just have a couple teasers. I mean, this can go either way. I just threw in Detroit and Baltimore, but like I said, Washington. I think this is short weeks, especially like Thanksgiving, where the thing the players are thinking about is their families, like the stuff they're missing out on. Like that's like true stuff. Like it's not just like we're usually narratives are like good for backing up your take, but like this is something where like obviously people like to play football. They love playing football, but like you're missing out on Thanksgiving, so the motivation might be a little bit lower. But even the teaser lines here are to me the teams that are playing are pretty even. Like I think Detroit and the Lions are pretty even. I think Steelers and Ravens are not a 10-point difference, and I think the football team in Dallas are not a 3-point difference, let alone a 9-point difference. So I like the teaser lines here quite a bit. You could teaser all three. You could mix and match between the other two games. So I like that. And then yeah, obviously we couldn't get any player props in, but Marvin Jones is a good one to look at. Gibson. I'm trying to think even who else. I guess I know that Juju might be out, so maybe if you get the early lines on Johnson and
Claypool. Claypool just scores like a lock.
Yeah, yeah. So I might maybe look around those. If you have any questions, reach out to us on Twitter. Bets that you like, or put it in the comments, stuff like that. We'll definitely respond. But yeah, going forward, we have the MyBookie sponsor. More stuff rolling. More sports are starting up, so we'll definitely get the content flowing there.
Yeah, for sure. So make sure you guys check out mybookie.ag, link down below in the description, code notoriously for all of those bonuses. Again, guys, if you guys want to get the best bonus, $250 risk-free bet on the early Thanksgiving game, which is the Lions versus the Texans, like Lucas said. If you want to be with Lucas and I, bet Detroit +3. If not, you're trying to fade us, go Texans -3, because it doesn't matter, because if you lose it, you get to fucking bet that money again the next game. So I hope you guys did end up enjoying. Do you have anything to add here, Lucas, before we get out?
Nope. We'll go over our records and stuff for the actual episode and whatnot and the ranking. So more of a game preview episode for this one.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys want to check out the picks for Sunday, there's no teams on bye this week, so it's a real loaded slate. So hopefully you guys did end up enjoying this video. If you guys did at any point end up enjoying, you had a fun time, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Me and Lucas have been doing pretty good thus far this season. Lucas, obviously, much better than me after my last week was a little bit sad, but we'll talk about that in the next video. I appreciate everyone joining us. Thank you guys all. Again, mybookie.ag, code notoriously at checkout. Again, link down below in the description. Have a great rest of your guys' day, and happy Thanksgiving, even though this is coming out the day before Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all have fun with your family or at home, that's fine too. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Good boy.